I went from working 3 jobs as a music producer to then going full-time with my music and scaling to 20K a month in the span of just about a year, charging artists $3,000 to $5,000 each. So if you're an expert music producer, you're working a 9 to 5, and you're thinking about how to get out of the 9 to 5 grind so that you can have more time freedom, honestly, more energy freedom, more creative freedom, and just really start to experience life, then I want to break down something to you that you've probably never heard before. Because in the conventional music industry, as a music producer, what are we told? What are we told? Sync placements on movies, placements with big artists so that a label can pay us a lot of money. We want to get a lot of Spotify streams because we're also an artist and we want to prove that we can make great music. And the only way to prove you can make great music is if you've got clout. Signing a record deal, getting your music on commercials, all these different things. Because dude, artists won't pay a lot. Artists aren't going to pay a lot of money, right? Local artists aren't going to pay a lot of money. Well, I'm here to tell you that is actually totally fucking wrong, because I've had artists pay me $3,000 to $5,000 each. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain to you why, first of all, you need to completely break out of the conventional music industry and all these different methods, because they suck and they're bullshit and they're hard to break into, and it's really difficult, in fact, damn near impossible to actually break into the industry and make a real living. I didn't do it, I never learned how to do it, and I don't wanna learn how to do it. I wanna be able to make money from home, from my sweats and my slippers. And I wanna make a really great living doing it. And I do that, and I've done it, and I help other people do the same. So I wanna break down for you, like, let's break out of the conventional music industry. Let's figure out how do we actually charge artists a lot of money. The thing that I hear a lot, and you've probably said, is, well, I can't find artists who wanna pay a lot of money. I think that's bullshit. I'm gonna challenge you on that, because I bet you that they just don't want to pay a lot of money because what you have is not that valuable. So what we're going to talk about today is one of the things that has changed my life so much, and it's creating a high ticket offer. What does that mean? People categorize high ticket from different numbers. Some people are like, if it's below 5K, it's not high ticket, right? Some people, it's not below 10K, it's not high ticket. For me, I'm like, look, dude, if it's got a comma in the price tag, it's high ticket, right? Especially if you've never charged anybody $1,000, right? Getting paid $1,000 for the first time from one person, like, feels great. So for the sake of the conversation, anything with a comma in the price tag. What I do is I recommend with my music business clients that we start with anything between 1 to 3K. Some of my clients do custom production only, where they do production, mix, mastering. Some of them do production with some coaching, where they coach their artists. Some of my clients help their clients by doing rollout strategies, and they do done-for-you content creation. Some of them just do full-on coaching. Like, one of my clients is a singer-songwriter and a vocal coach. So it just really depends. But here's the first thing we got to break. First of all, this whole idea that you think in your brain that artists won't pay a lot of money. Wrong, wrong, wrong. How do I know it's wrong? First of all, as an artist myself, I'm a producer, but I'm also an artist. I've spent a lot of money on coaching. I've spent a lot of money with producers. I've spent a lot of money on paid ads. I will go spend money. For me, I care so much about growing my music business and my music career that I don't really care how much it is. I will figure out a way to go get the money. I will use a credit card. I will do a payment plan with the person, whatever it takes for me to be able to grow my career. If something is valuable enough, I will pay for it. And it's funny, right? Because you might say, well, artists don't want to pay a lot of money. Okay, what if, gun to their head, would they do it? What if they're on the hospital bed and they need a new fucking blood transfusion, and if they don't get the blood transfusion, they're gonna die, and the blood transfusion is $10,000? Are they gonna come up with the money? Yes. Are they gonna go ask, borrow, rob, steal, cheat? Right? We don't want them to do unethical, illegal things, but are they gonna go just do whatever it takes to get that money? Absolutely. The problem is what you have to offer just isn't valuable enough, and there's a few reasons for that. The first thing I want you to fix, and I want you to really understand, to get people to pay you a lot of money, you need to be positioned as an authority, but that doesn't mean you've got millions of streams or plaques or placements or you're signed to a record label or that you've gotten a Grammy. No, no, no. I have none of those things, and I position myself as an authority to artists because I have something that they need. I can teach them production. I can produce for them. I can teach marketing. I have things that they need. Now, am I above them as a human being? No. But do I have elevated status in this realm? Yes. Like, you might be a great artist, but I have something you don't. I can produce, I can mix, I can master, I can show you how to do that, I can show you how to market. So I have authority above you only in this regard, and they're cool with that. They're like, yeah, that's why I'm here. They want to spend that amount of money. So obviously, yes, there are broke, stupid artists out there. Of course there are, but that doesn't mean all artists are broke and stupid. So the first thing is you need to realize that you are an authority over that artist in this realm. You're not a better human being. Your life isn't of more value in existence. I just mean, like, you know more than them, you can help them with something. So you have leverage on them for that. You know what I mean? The other thing is, you don't need a big audience. Like, I see producers say that, like, oh, I need a big audience. You do not. You don't need a big audience. My client, Ange, when I started working with her, I think she had like 300 followers. Maybe 500, something like that. Now she has like about 5,000, but even then, like 5,000 followers isn't a ton. She has no, streams, plaques, Grammys, none of that. She's pulling in 5K a month consistently from existing clients. She's got a 6X return on her ad spend as a producer. So what are we talking about here? You don't need a big audience. You don't, okay? And it's funny too, like, I'm not gonna name drop, but I've talked to a couple of guys who are big songwriters. Like, big songwriters in the industry. They've done like big work. I talked to a guy this week who's got a Grammy. I'm not gonna name drop out of respect, but in a way, like, he has authority over me because he's actually in the industry. He's gotten a Grammy. He's like done big shit, but in a way, like, he doesn't know how to package up a high ticket offer necessarily, right? So I have that authority in a way. He has authority over me in one way. I have authority over him in another. It's a good trade. It's a good back and forth. So it's like, you get what I'm saying? So like, even though he has way more industry clout, how is it that I'm the one that was able to go high ticket right to artists? And he hasn't done that yet. He's done way bigger things than I've done in other ways. I've just done that thing. So having an authority isn't about clout or your audience size or any of that stuff. So you got to get out of this mindset that you aren't good enough and that you don't have enough status, you don't have a big enough audience. Like, that's just not true. So stop saying that about yourself and stop doing all that. The next thing is, you need to stop thinking that your skills alone and the quality of the music you make alone is what commands a high price. That's not what commands a high price. You need to think about what you do for your clients as a transformation. Now, I told you earlier that I have clients who do some custom production. Maybe they do a combo of produce, some marketing done for you services, maybe some coaching. You don't need to do any of that. If you just give them an instrumental, mix and master, and that's all you did, that is enough, but the quality of your music isn't what's gonna get them. What's gonna get them is you seeming professional, you being organized. For example, one of my clients, Baby Boy Blue, 28 million streams, but was having trouble closing high ticket sales, hired me just to teach him sales, and he's already charging high ticket, and he produces, mix, masters. No coaching, no marketing, none of that, just produces. First 3 weeks we worked together, he went from closing 0 out of 20 sales calls the month before we worked together. When we worked together, he went 3 for 3 within 3 weeks of working together. It's kind of funny. 3 for 3, we worked together for 3 weeks, and he did 3.3K. That number 3 is very lucky, I don't know. But and he just does custom production, right? So what it is that he does, and that I've also done, but I'm gonna speak on Liam, Baby Boy Blue, he is just super professional, he's well-spoken, he cares a lot. And he makes his clients feel like he's partnering with them. He makes his clients feel like they aren't just buying a beat off Fiverr or BeatStars. They're not just, getting taken advantage of. Like, when you work with Baby Boy Blue, you're getting a song that's your song. Like, he knows how to play instruments and he's great at what he does, but beyond the quality of his music, it's what he makes his clients feel like. He takes them through a transformation of, they went from being just like an artist who like does everything by themselves and feels alone. Now they've got their producer, Baby Boy Blue, to lock in with him, and he'll do great fucking work with them, right? So that's what's been really great about what he's done. So first of all, break out of the whole industry mindset of like, I need to go do sync and I need to like sell beats or I need placements or all that. I need to get on a label, all that stupid stuff. Like, you don't need to do any of that. In fact, you know what's funny? Going back to that point, I have talked to plenty of producers who are like, I talked to a producer who was working with an artist who was signed to Columbia Records, and he was making like, I guess he was making like, I don't know how much he was making with that artist, to be honest. But that artist, I don't think that artist is going to continue working with Columbia, and he's now not working with that label, and he's only making 2-3K a month. And I've talked to a lot of people who've worked with a lot of big artists, and they don't make a lot of money. Yeah, they got a couple placements, but you know, it's funny, you think, oh, like I got a placement with this big artist, and that means that like my name will now be spread around the industry, so I'll get more placements. Like, dude, that's literally not how it fucking works at all. Sometimes you get one placement and that's it. Sometimes you get one commercial or one song in one commercial or something, and then that's it, you're done. Like, if you don't have a constant stream of leads and you don't have something where you could charge a lot of money, like, you're not building a business. So it's get out of the conventional music industry like mindset. Like, you got to get the fuck out of that. Next, you need to let go of this idea that like all artists are broke. No, they are not. There are artists out there who will pay thousands and thousands of dollars. You're just not worth it because you are so focused on the quality of what you do, and that's not why artists will pay you. Because here's a reality check. You're not the best producer in the game, and guess what? Neither am I. Neither is Baby Boy Blue. Neither is Zaytoven. Neither is Charlie Puth, right? Neither is Timbaland. Why? Well, they might be the best. Neither is Pharrell. It's just like, no, like they're not. Who's really the best? It's like, it's such a debate, and it isn't about being the best. It's about being different. What's cool when you're different, what it is you are the best for your ideal client, which that comes from being different. When you're different, you're the best for your client. I'll give you an example. I fully produce my own music. I'm an artist, I write, I record, but I also make beats, mix, master, all that. I play piano. There is only one other, I mean, I am totally open to work with other producers on music, of course, but there's really only one other producer I exclusively work with. It's one of my best friends, Corey Wallace. I think he's the best producer in the game. Is he actually? There's no way to prove if he's actually the best producer in the game, but he's just really fucking great, and he's the best for me because he's different, and he is obviously very skilled. You know what I mean? So, you know, with this video, I wanted to shed some light to you to help you realize, I mean, I've had artists pay me 3 to 5K each. I've had clients pay me 1K, 2K, 3K, 5K, 6K, 9K. Like, I've had clients pay a lot. Baby Boy Blue, 3.3K in 3 weeks. Ange, 5K a month. She even just shared, we had a group call with my music business mentorship clients last night. She hosted it. She shared with us that she has had a client, she has this one client who has paid her $12,000, not all up front, over time. He's worked with her for about over a year. She's the only producer he works with, and he pays her $500 to $1,000 a month every single month on new music. She's the only producer he works with. She's had clients pay her $6,000, $5,000. She had a client one time, she told us this. She had a client who referred her 3 or 4 other clients. So one client multiplied 3 or 4 more. So that one client really technically paid her, I don't even know how much, tens of thousands of dollars because of all the other people she's referred. So the point of what I'm trying to make to you is like, a lot of this game is mindset. A lot of this is like, you got to break out of the conventional music industry ways and like see that there's more out there. You just got to break out of doing the same thing and figure out that there's actually something different out there for you. So I hope this video gave you value. Hope it shed light. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.